Day, December 5th, AD 2024. And we're going to have a fun, loosey-goosey, The Hake Report show, everybody. Very loosey-goosey. I hope you do join me, though, because let's just have some fun. I will get to your calls. The lines are filling up. I wasn't able to get to a lot of you guys, you know, because I took forever with the some of these black intellectual callers, you know. It was black on black crime, as Lin Yan Chin pointed out. He's right. He knows. Two tangent writers. Oh look, my shoes. I saw that comment. Terrible. You know, they're going after Pete Hegseth, and it's a mess, and I don't really care, but they're also pushing the transgender kids agenda, and that's gone all the way to the Supreme Court. Isn't that ridiculous? What's up, Age of Inversion? Dumb stuff going on in the world. Yesterday, there was a story that I had seen about Voyager 1. I had mentioned that I was going to show you guys or explain to you guys how real space is. So hopefully we get to that too, okay? Or hopefully we get to any of that. But I do have your super chats to get to, your calls, and other things. I think I'm pretty much set to get right on with the show!
Have you been naughty or nice?
It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La la la. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La la la. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La la la. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La la la.
Oh, Lord. So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I forgot to set myself up properly. Anyway, I'm doing fine. I have my Knowledge is Poison t-shirt. What, you like it? What do you think of it? Do you like them? It's cool. Knowledge is Poison. The Hake Report. I get turned around and I'm looking at a picture of myself. Yeah. Knowledge is Poison. Let me show you this beautiful t-shirt. TheHakeReport.com. And you go to the Printify store. Hake.printify.me. So simple. So easy. Where is it? Shop. Printify. And this one is the gray one. You see it's gray? I forgot to tell you the obvious globe t-shirt, which proves the ball. I saw somebody in the comments say, your shirt proves nothing. No, it proves the globe. See that? Horizon. You see that horizon? That horizon proves that it's a ball. It just drops off. It just drops off. It's not a, it's the vanishing point. No, it's a clear drop off. If you've ever seen the sun set, boom, there it is. You see the sun is like a circle, and it becomes a semicircle, and then less and less and less of a part of a circle. It's because it drops below the horizon, which is only obviously on a globe. But anyway, I'm bickering with my with my flat earther friends / fiends. That was a bay color. Bay. Believe it or not, that's bay. B-A-Y, not B-A-E. We're not black here. We're not beyond. Actually, Beyonce's. Come on, what's the? Oh yeah, color bay. You see that? B-A-Y. And it looks sort of darker and greener here, but it's a nice blue-green, light blue-green that I wore yesterday. on the Hake report, and I'll prove it to you. Yesterday's thing, that's the real color. See, it's lighter than is shown on that. Anyway, so that's that, and the knowledge is poison T-shirt. This is the white ink, right? I got I wanted to see how it looked on this. I think it might be this one. No, that's light blue. Where am I? Where's my gray? Storm. It might be Storm that I got. I could probably confirm. But I believe Steel blue. No, I don't think it was steel blue. What's that one? Light blue? No. Heather stone. Oh, now I'm confused. No, no, it's not heather. It's not heathered at all. I think it's storm. Yep, storm is the color. So see this? Significantly lighter than this one. So when you see the colors, at least on the screen that I'm looking at, then just know that it's going to be a shade or few lighter than how it's shown on the screen. Just FYI. And this shirt is a little bit more snug fitting. It is it's not the one that I like. It's the Bella Canvas 3001 thing, okay? So it's a little bit more kind of like the next level ones that I was getting. I find it's a somewhat snug fit, but it's nice and smooth and light material, and it's 100% cotton, which is cool. And knowledge is poison. A little knowledge is good. However, knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. That's in the Bible. It's a fact. Oh, okay, so look, watch. Storm looks like a dark lavender or a very, oh no. So what color did I get? I didn't get dark gray. I don't know. Well, I'll have to tell you guys later. So, yesterday I wore bay. Today, I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. I wanted to get to calls. I promised you that I would get to calls first thing. And indeed, William in California is on the line over here. William, thank you for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Hey, what's happening, James?
Not much.
Yeah, that's a pre-wash. That fits pretty good.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You think it's pre-washed?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's a nice fit.
Yeah.
If it shrinks any more, then it would be uncomfortable. I do feel it. Right. It is slightly uncomfortable, but it is.
How does it feel against your skin?
It feels fine against my skin, although it's a bit snugger than I'm starting to want to get the more comfortable, slightly loose-fitting shirts now.
Yeah. Knowledge is poison, huh? I'm back at the house, man. You forgot to ask my boy Joe about them snakes around them goats. I don't think them goats have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poison. What's that? Knowledge is poison, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how people get a little bit of knowledge and they get all puffed up, thinking they know stuff, and then they lack wisdom.
Man, you had my cows mooing yesterday, man, towards the end of your shows in the barn listening to you, man. I didn't see you, but we're going to go with some common sense today. Since
nice.
Yesterday you had all this, what do you want to call that? What was that yesterday? Towards the end of your show. What exactly was that?
Oh.
James, what do you do? Let me ask you something.
Uh-huh.
You know, we're pretty cool, right?
Yes.
What do you do? Are you trying to make yourself feel smart by talking to all this madness?
Are you talking about my calls with
time with that crap? Come on.
But don't you gotta love Joe and Ronnie.
Oh, Joe's cool. But Ronnie had everything wrong.
Yeah.
No, Reagan was considered one of the greatest.
Okay,
he ended the Cold War, and we were booming during the Reagan years. And if you say Reagan was a bad president, that's because you were probably in the ghetto getting the government cheese.
Oh. But blacks started doing better under Reagan, according to what I heard from other radio hosts.
The ones that were doing things, yeah.
Yep.
The ones that claimed he was bad, they weren't doing too good because they probably was in those areas that had those drugs. And those drugs with the Contra affairs, that's more reading than most of those people are able to do. It's way more complicated than that.
Yeah.
And Reagan ended the Cold War, and the wall was knocked down in Germany, and it was knocked down from the east, meaning he made Mr. Gorbachev do that.
Nice.
Get it done.
Right.
Okay.
But I don't think
we
that
were
Ronnie
going-
had a beef with Reagan. I was just saying that.
He said he was one of the worst.
Oh no, he said.
And he
I
said
know he said
Obama
Trump
was one of the best.
Right. He said. I remember he said Trump was one of the worst and Obama was one of the best. Did he say Reagan is one of the worst?
I think he said that Reagan brought crack into the United States, which is, come on.
That went over my
look-
head if he
look-
said that. I don't remember that.
Look at your shirt. Look at your shirt. What does it say?
Knowledge is poison.
And we're not going down a rabbit hole. We're going down a snake hole.
Yeah.
So check this out. It's going to make sense or it's not.
True.
Hold it to the fire. They'll be calling. Ask them what did Obama do good, because Obamacare definitely wasn't.
Right. Yeah, I know.
And-
That's
and
so
it-
shocking to me to hear. Well, it's not that shocking, but it's somewhat surprising to me to hear a Christian man
I have private insurance. I don't mess with that.
call Obamacare a
If
good
you
thing.
know- if
I
you
think
know
it's
anything
because
about it, it's socialism.
right, yeah, and people don't even know what's wrong with socialism anymore. But government being in your business is not a good thing.
Tell me if it makes sense or it doesn't. This ain't a democracy. You always hear them talking about this is democracy. It's not a democracy. This is what? It's a republic.
Right, it's a republic.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it better to be a what are we, capitalists?
Yeah. Yes. Capitalists.
Okay. All right. That makes sense or does it not?
Oh, this is Storm. This T-shirt color is Storm, FYI. So it's not.
You know, does that make sense or does it not?
It
This
makes
is
sense to be
capitalist.
what again? Capitalists. It makes sense to be capitalist. And you know what? Trump being a capitalist, free market, freedom, that
Correct.
made the economy improve. The value of the dollar went up. The value of the S&P, whatever that stuff is, and the
Correct.
value of Bitcoin, it all went up. Things are looking up.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
Does it make sense if you turn around and look at your backdrop with the flat Earth thing? So the Earth is supposed to be flat. Turn around and look at that. You're telling me that these oceans are puddles?
Yeah, good question. Exactly.
thank
Yeah, great
Uh-huh.
point.
All right. What did Obama
Beautiful globe.
do good with all the proxy wars and pallets of cash he gave Iran, which create the problems we have right now? Does that make sense?
Say that again. What did Obama do good with all the proxy wars and all the things?
And giving Iran all those pallets of cash that we've been holding since the hostage situation. in
Oh,
the
yeah,
late
yeah, yeah.
70s.
Oh, and the excuse was, oh, it's their money. He just released it to
No.
them.
No, we had them in check as long as we kept it.
Right. That's right. We did.
All right.
And Trump held it up again. And it was hurting
Yes, he
them.
did.
It was hurting them. It was preventing them from funding all these supposed terrorist groups like Hamas,
That's correct.
Hezbollah,
That's correct. That's correct.
the Houthis, maybe.
That's correct. That's correct. And Trump is working now. He's not even inaugurated yet.
Right.
And the wall is construction has resumed.
True. Oh, has it? Wait, it is resumed already?
Yes. And Mexico did pay for it.
How
Using
so?
their resources, using their resources in military, keeping the people off the border while they were working on it. And the border is about 2,000 miles. He didn't get the second term. That's why he didn't finish it. Does that make sense or not? The day of Joe Biden's inauguration, he halted construction.
Right. I didn't know it was the day of his inauguration. Oh, his inauguration day.
Oh,
That was,
it was
when he got in.
It was pretty fast.
Oh yeah, it was right away.
Okay.
Yep.
So is woke making sense and DEI hires making sense? Because you do know that's where Kamala Harris was. She never won anything. She didn't win the DA in San Francisco up here. She didn't win the attorney general spot up here in California. She didn't even win the nomination for vice president.
Who are you talking about right now?
Kamala.
I have a question. You said that the wall has resumed already?
It's already starting.
And where did you hear that?
I didn't hear.
Or,
It's already started. Yeah.
but how do you know that?
So they started construction down in Texas already, James.
That's from
They're resuming. As a matter of fact,
Where did you read it?
I think Texas is no. I look at the real news. I read the real stuff. I don't cherry pick. This stuff is starting to get done already. Trump's been working already.
I know that
Another
Greg
thing
Abbott
they
is.
do.
I see Greg
Yeah.
Abbott.
The thing on the state level, they're starting to. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but that's not Trump. That's not the federal wall
no.
is superior
They
to
don't
the
want
state
to do
wall.
it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, okay.
Mexico did pay.
How did they
And
pay?
we're-
Because I know that they were going to do remittances.
Well, they had their resources. They were spending their money stopping them from coming to the wall while it was being constructed. Remember, we'll make Mexico pay. Are you there, James?
Yeah, I'm here. Hang on. I'm just
Okay.
I have a
What are you
distraction
doing?
right
You
now.
blanking out?
No. I was just distracted because the wall, Trump's wall has not restarted.
Who's doing it? Texas?
Yeah, Texas. Texas is doing,
Okay.
according to YouTube,
work is
Greg
resumed.
Abbott's YouTube, panel installation
Right.
continues on the historic Texas border wall.
So work has so they're starting back on it.
But that's
Okay.
not Trump's wall. That's,
No,
and,
not yet.
And
Not yet.
as I heard from my guest, Cam Higbee, Trump's wall is bigger and better than Greg Abbott's wall. So it's a
Little bit more
completely
money.
different wall.
A little bit more money.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
But I appreciate Greg Abbott's efforts, I guess.
I do too. Is it making sense that woke is playing out? Tiffany, what's that girl? Hinyard up in Illinois? She is not getting. She's not even on the ballot. London Breed is gone. Joy Reid, who is basically, what's her name? I call her Aldo
Nice.
from Planet of the Apes.
Oh, Lord.
Al Sharpton is Dr. Zera. It's playing out.
A lot of this stuff
Playing
going
out.
over my
Now,
head.
What? Yeah, let it. Yeah, you haven't seen Planet of the Apes. Check
Right.
this out. What has Harris done for the blacks versus Trump?
You know what? Blacks should stop thinking about what they've done for the
They
blacks.
need to stop thinking about what the government does for them. Like
Right.
she says, she's going to give them these first-time buyer houses. They didn't work when Clinton gave them to them. They foreclosed. And by the time Obama came in office, they were all foreclosed. The government is not into building homes. If
I
they
know,
are,
that's true.
If they are, it's the projects.
They should stay out of it, really.
It's the projects.
Right,
that
and
they
those
do.
are homes you don't want to be in.
They're not like the home I have. No, they're not.
Yeah,
The government does not build those.
what a mess.
So this knowledge is poison. That's the perfect shirt for you to have today. We need Mark, man. We
Nice.
need Mark. It takes so little time to get some common sense out there versus what? How long did you what do you make yourself feel smart by talking to those people? Blacks need to get out of what the government can do for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Ask not what your government can do for you, but what you could do. Do it.
For the country.
Yeah, just do it.
Stop with this
And-
selfishness.
Stop
Exactly.
with the. First of all, they always want government stuff, but they hate America. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't celebrate these holidays. Yeah, but you got the biggest dinners and sweet potato pies. And you ever see a black dinner for a holiday?
It's a feast.
But they don't like America.
They like to party. It reminds me of the Mexicans who like to fire off the fireworks on 4th of July. They don't care anything about America, or they think that they love America just because they love to exploit us because we're suckers. But they don't love America.
No, Obamacare was not good.
Yeah, definitely not.
They don't even know that those jobs that they're counting under Obama were just Walmart jobs, 37 hours a week.
Right.
What's the trick to that?
And a whole bunch of government jobs.
3 hours short from 40 hours, which means the employer does not have to supply your Medicare or your medicals. So
or Obamacare.
You have to sign up for Obamacare. Is that not a sign of socialism or almost communism?
Yeah, it's the government meddling and destroying the so-called health care industry. I was thinking about how with Obamacare, with all these vax mandates that they're putting on the people, they're forcing them to take flu shots. There were independent thinking men who quit.
You're right.
There were there's a man who called my show who is a Ukrainian, I think. He was a nurse, a male nurse.
Yeah.
And some of those male nurses are better than the female nurses, actually. And he
Obamacare
quit.
Is not good.
He quit because of when Obama came in. That's around the time they started forcing these vaccines, the flu shots and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's
He's like,
true.
I don't want to take
right
that.
There.
So he became a trucker.
Yeah. And that's true, too. You hit something there. He's also going to end the dead jobs that people are sitting at home. We're gonna have to fill these buildings back up. It's probably we're going crazy with this stuff.
Yeah.
Get back to work. That's another one. And who pays most of the taxes in this country? You don't judge a president on. Let me tell you something, James. You don't judge a president on what he does for the poor. You know why?
Because the poor don't do a squat.
They don't pay no taxes.
Yeah.
So who pays most of the taxes in this country is the super, super rich.
Exactly.
And then you got the rich, and then you have the wealthy, and then you have the middle class. That bottom class, they don't matter. And
That's
you don't
true.
judge a president. You can even ask Mark this.
And the government's not supposed to take care of the poor, quote unquote, take care of the poor. That's part of the problem. That's only making more poor people, so-called.
You can ask Mark this, and he'll tell you it's true. They don't matter down there. It's up to you to get from down there, right?
Right.
It's up to you to not be crying about minimum wage because Trump had the wage go up.
Right, because everything became more valuable.
The minimum wage is a recipe for unemployment.
Right.
Because the owners of the companies will say, I can't pay all these people
automation
those kind of numbers.
Yep.
Right. So you don't judge a president on what he does for the poor. You judge a president on what he does for the upper echelons of the taxpayers.
That's right. William, I appreciate it, man. I got to keep it moving. Thanks
Take care, man.
Thank you, sir. Manuel in California on the line here. Manuel, thank you for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Good morning, Hank.
Hey.
How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you.
So Joe did say that there was a ban, or black people weren't allowed to national parks, right?
Yeah.
So I did a little research on that, and there's no law ever explicit that says that.
Okay.
There's only assumptions of it because, black people were a lower majority and weren't like big into camping.
Right.
There was separate camping grounds.
Okay.
Separate bathrooms and stuff like that, but there was no law banning any black person going to a national park.
Okay. He said that there are I thought he said that there are records of them getting discriminated against and restricted and stuff like that. So I could have gone to the state park as I wanted to, been James, and if they wanted to discriminate against me. So
right.
all this discrimination stuff was far more reasonable than they're portraying it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, there would be like an event going on where someone already had the permit for the place and people couldn't go.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, I get it, but you can't assume something and say it's a law. Just because you assume something and feel a certain way, that's not reality.
Yeah, and the blacks tend to lie. They'll say, oh, they discriminated against me because I'm black. And it has nothing to do with anything You know, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with either you're the problem, you're making a scene, you're being out of order, or else there's other reasons. That's what's happening today anyway. About back then, probably that too.
Right.
Yeah.
And they act like they don't want segregation. They fought against it, but, you know, they're still fighting for segregation today, as in their college graduation.
Very true.
Other stuff like that. But you guys should make a shirt that says MASA, M-A-S-A. Make America segregated again.
And they would agree with it. They would disagree with it, and then they would agree.
Well, they would agree with it when it comes to graduations, but then they wouldn't agree to it when it came to private business.
Right.
That was the whole point of the civil rights, was to abolish.
So was that both, when you looked that up, was that national parks and state parks, or?
Yeah.
Because state parks are different. States can have different. They can do different things from the national parks.
Camping grounds and stuff like that.
Right.
But there was no ban on blacks entering a state or national parks. It was just like segregated camps and segregated bathrooms. And if there was an event going on that was already permitted out, you know, they can permit who they can and cannot let in. You know?
Yeah.
Just like if you were to rent something in a park in LA, you know, you get a permit for it. You own the permit, so you can pick and choose who can and cannot be there.
Right. Of course. And that can be obnoxious. I don't like when they have, they got a private party taking up the thing. I can sympathize with how annoying that can be, but that's not, because I'm black or whatever.
Right.
That's a one-day situation. I remember they had a triathlon or something at the beach that I'd like to go to, and I'd driven all the way down, took an hour and a half, and I couldn't. I had to turn around, or I had to keep on going down to a different beach. Really was what I did. So
should have complained that you were a different race or you were gay or something like that.
Yeah, this is racism.
Discriminating. Yeah.
Terrible. Interesting.
The whole civil rights thing to me was a way to go after private business, you know, because as a private business, you don't have to, you have the right to discriminate. You know, you don't have to bake that cake for that person, you know.
Right.
And I feel like the civil rights was strictly to attack the rights of private ownership, you know.
Yeah. I think that there's some truth to that. I think that is, it sounds right to me.
What does a communist or a socialist always say? You shouldn't be able to own property.
Right.
You know?
They're against private ownership. When that's one of your basic, you know how they talked about the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? The pursuit of happiness was really, they meant life. They were going to do life, liberty, and property is what I heard.
Right. Well, pursuit of happiness is to own something, you know, well, not really. That's my mind. But yeah, to me, it's to own, you know, privately anything that you like. You can buy your own car. You can buy your own land.
Are you free if you can't own something? The heck? The government owns it. They can take it away from you. How is that freedom? Give me a break.
Right.
What a
That's
mess.
why that whole civil rights movement, I feel, too, is just a big communist movement to break down the Constitution of the United States, because we are the only country in the world that has the freedom of speech and this, and you know, they're going after every little thing they can, even gun ownership, you know.
Yeah.
You hear them about mass shootings, but you never hear about the gang violence, all that kind of stuff that has way more shootings and killings than the school stuff going on. You know?
And you don't hear about the cases in which people defend themselves using a gun or brandish a gun or have a threat of owning a gun, and it stops crime. And it prevents a crime, or it puts an end to a crime, or whatever, or they apprehend a criminal. But no,
Trump, what he should do is go to one of the most, I guess, crime-ridden states, say Chicago. Illinois, even California, do an open carry, make it legal that anyone in the state can open carry, and I guarantee you the whole violence, the whole gun thing will die out.
Yeah, nice.
As soon as you have everyone walking around with a gun, you're going to know, like, oh, you know what? This probably isn't a good idea to try and rob someone.
Right.
Because 10 other guys are going to have guns pointed at me.
All these big-time mass shootings, gun-free zones, including these forts. You know how there were some mass shootings at these forts? Like Fort, I forget what forts they've done mass shootings at, some of these Muslims and others. When you go on to a fort, a military fort, you check your gun at the counter. You know, you check your gun, and so you're in a gun-free zone. And these movie theaters and schools, gun-free zones. So they know that it's going to be, I call it ducks in a barrel, but some people call it fish in a barrel. They know that they're going to be sitting ducks in a barrel.
Yeah.
So they
even just this, I would probably do this. I do a national law saying that every school has to have like guns. You know,
right?
Like 10, at least like 2 security guys or whatever. Teachers have to carry guns.
Yeah.
Maybe not teachers, but something of that sort. Because then I guarantee there probably wouldn't be a mass shooting at a school, or very, very little. If any.
Right. It would be
just move on to the next thing.
It would be an ineffective, basically a suicide mission, because you're not going to get,
Right.
You're not going to be able to take out very many before you get offed.
If they're the most vulnerable, they should be the most protected. So
Yeah.
if you protect them, there wouldn't be a reason to go after those because they're not as vulnerable anymore.
Right. Yep.
But
Nice. That's too
And then-
manly of thinking.
yeah, you better put me out. Yesterday, Ronnie was saying the unemployment during the Obama period was down.
Yeah, he said that it was like 11% when Obama came in, and he brought it down to 5% or something like that. But he couldn't say how it happened, and he didn't acknowledge that those numbers were cooked because of the way that they stopped counting people as unemployed. They just stopped counting them. People who gave up looking for a job because they were getting all that pay.
I don't know how cooked they were, but I'm pretty sure they were for sure cooked, because I remember I was unemployed for like 6 months in 2009.
Uh-huh.
And the unemployment office kept telling me, as long as you go and on the paper they send you like once a week or once a month, I think. I can't remember. Once a month, they would send a paper saying like, okay, where did you go and apply? And you wrote down where you applied.
Yeah.
And as long as you went and applied, they wouldn't mark you as like the unemployed because you were searching. So it counted as like work.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know how true that is, but I
Yeah.
just remember talking to the person and they're all like, no, you just write down where you applied and, you're fine. We'll keep you on the benefits and say that you're searching for work and you won't be unemployed. I just thought that was weird. Like, so I can just write anywhere and they're all like, yeah.
Well, I think that may be so that you can get your pay, so you're being a responsible unemployed person.
Right, but I'm pretty sure they said they counted that as like not unemployed, because if you were unemployed, that means you were just sitting at home, not looking. But if you were out looking, they would consider it like as employee because you're looking for work. I don't know how true that was. That was a long time ago, but I just remember I thought it was weird that they didn't even check if you actually even applied at those places.
A lot of times you know how you have to apply for unemployment? After a while, I don't even know I think that you don't have to keep applying for unemployment if you pretend like you're looking for a job or something like that. You know how they try to pretend to justify and pretend like these people are responsible people not working the system by saying, oh, it's means tested. You have to really need it, and you have to be really trying to do something to get out of it. When in reality, that's not really what's going on. And a lot of these people who manage your unemployment or manage your welfare check, they will be on your side trying to get you a hookup. These are liberal, dishonest people who will feel sorry for you. I've known some women who have been getting some of these checks, And they'll be like, oh, I'm living in my car. And it's a situation of your own creation. And you're like, oh, you're living in your car? Well, let me get you this. When you don't really have to be living in your car, you could just not be a bum and start working a normal job. But you're too prideful, ego. You don't want to do that ego death of having the drudgery of going to a job. They're spoiling people. And it's so wrong.
Yeah, because even in that situation, I got put on leave at the job I was at because, well, anyways, they put me on leave, a paid leave on top of that. And so I went and worked for another company while they were doing their investigation. They're saying that I was stealing stuff from the company, but whatever.
Yeah.
So they put me on paid leave for 6 months, and then I went and worked at another company and was getting 2 paychecks, one from my previous company and one from that company. And then, you know, they finally just paid me out because I wasn't stealing anything. And they finally let me go. And then that other job, I left, and I was like, you know, I'm going to employment because I was all mad at them. I'm like, man, these guys put me through all this.
Oh, so you're going to ding your company that you worked for with unemployment because it goes against them. It's like a check against the company. I remember we had to fire somebody because he was irresponsible. He either stole or he cheated or something, lied or something. And he tried to file for unemployment, and it was like somehow a check against us as a company. And so we had to counterclaim it, and it was interesting. What a mess.
Yeah, so I put it against them because I was mad at them because they fired me for no reason. It was a lie that someone else said.
Okay.
And so I'm like, all right, cool. You guys don't want to believe me, then I'm going to put a ding on you guys. But I did that for like 6 months, and I finally got tired of it.
Yeah.
Went back to work.
Nice. Right on.
One other thing, and then I'll let you go. I want to see if Joe has ever read the Gulag Archipelago, the book by that Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn or whatever his name is. I want to see what he thinks of that author. Does he have a good idea of him? Is he bad? Like, I just want to know what he thinks of that guy.
Okay.
If you remember, you know.
I don't know how to spell that guy's name. I'll look it up. I kind of know. I've heard of this. The Gulag Archipelago by Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn.
Yeah.
Solzhenitsyn.
I just want to see what he thinks of him. If he's a good person. Or
that was published in 1973? I didn't know that was so recent. I thought it was like an 100-year-old book.
I'm pretty sure it was published before that. I think it in English was probably in 1970.
Oh, yeah. Maybe written 3-volume nonfiction series written between 1958 and 1968. That makes a little bit more sense. A Soviet dissident, Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn. I don't know how to pronounce your Russian names. Shout out to the Russians.
Yeah.
Have you read it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Nice.
I just I was listening to a podcast the other day with someone talking about him. So I just want to see what Joe thinks of him.
Okay.
Joe's a very intellectual man.
Right, and he's a black conservative, quote unquote.
Right, and he's not a communist. So.
Right, and he's not communist at all. He supports the violation of the freedom of speech because he believes in hate speech laws and he believes in this racism stuff, which is all communist propaganda and communist like wedges. But he's not a communist.
And Obamacare, which is communist.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. What a mess.
Right on.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, take care.
All right.
Bye. I saw some chats in over on, I think it was Jules, saying Obamacare is, Age of Inversion over on Rumble, says Obamacare is not socialism. Obamacare empowered and enriched private health insurance companies. Well, you sound like Joe from Phoenix, Age of Inversion. Obamacare was a love letter to the insurance companies, he said. But that is socialism, commie capitalism. Same thing, right? Because it's look, there's Hake. I can't find his chat there so that I can show it to you guys because I pulled it up late. This person is sleeping. Sorry about that. Pardon me, psychiatric. Sleeping. Okay, yeah, but he also got rid of the, what's that thing that the old school people don't like. I remember Asmodor didn't like it. My former resident historian, not de facto, my resident historian, Asmodor, talked about how in the olden days, these insurance companies did not have what was called they didn't reject you for pre-existing conditions. They covered your pre-existing conditions. There was not an issue about pre-existing conditions. Probably partly that was a healthier society, a higher trust society, not so diverse and degenerate and exploitative hookups. Getting the hook up. I'm not talking about hookup like boys, like young men and young women hooking up, like S-word sexually. I'm talking about getting the hookup. Oh, I know somebody in this department and can get you in. That type of hookup. Get you that free money. Get that government commune. Hake is mildly communist, actually, says Zazen. Fix your name, man. Why do you have that name? Unless you're some other culture. That nowadays will break a private company, preventing them from, think about it. You say that they can't reject you for pre-existing conditions. My company does. That's going to break the company because they're going to have to end up paying and paying and paying and paying because people are unhealthier and less and less healthy, more and more unhealthy, unhealthier and unhealthier. Insurance companies scamming big time. You guys see what United States healthcare CEO, you should cover that, Hake. I know I mentioned it in Hake News. I don't know what happened with that. United Healthcare, not United States Healthcare. I reject people for pre-existing conditions. Me too, Chris. It's a basic right. Discrimination, a basic right. There are other companies that can handle that stuff or should handle that stuff or charities perhaps, maybe. All of this government meddling in the, you mean like how Obama hooked up the health insurance companies? Sort of, but it was also a wolf in sheep's clothing. Because they're not going to be able, they're going to end up going out of business because it's going to break them. He's given them the short-term thing, and then he's given them the short-term more business by forcing people to buy insurance, right? And all that stuff. Of course, Trump took away the individual mandate. But in the long run, they're going to break, and it's going to be the public option only. Commie capitalism, the government forcing the people to buy something, evil. Oh, it's a tax. It's not a tax. It's a tax. Unconstitutional. What a mess. Pre-existing conditions like feminism? Yes. Like feminism. I have a pre-existing condition of feminism. Rejected. So it is, it's commie capitalism, age of inversion, or am I wrong? Am I wrong? Let's see if he's still there. I thought Joe said Obama could do no wrong. Oh, no, he doesn't mind him doing a love letter to the insurance companies because he's a good capitalist, according to him, or something. I don't know. What a mess. What a mess. Let me read a couple of super chats here, guys. At least one, I saw one come in. From Deplorable Dave from Rosamond, California. Hey, Joe in Phoenix reminds me of Mr. something in this movie when I hear his voice. I didn't see that movie. Deplorable Dave. Mr. I don't know if I should say this out loud, Deplorable Dave in Rosamond, California. But I didn't watch that movie. I was fresh out of high school because I talked to this girl at this interpersonal communication class. It was a communication class, right? And this girl said, young woman actually, older than me, said that she worked at a movie theater and there were all these underage guys trying to watch American Pie, but they were underage. And it's a dirty movie, not Christian. I can't help you, but maybe you guys know. Mr. Levenstiein. I started to get nervous, Deplorable Dave from Rosamond, California. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what this person sounds like. I'm afraid to look him up too because isn't American Pie this dirty, dirty movie? But there's one good thing about it, right? It has that one guy in it with whom I stand. Because he got accused in the Me Too movement by a gay. Kevin Spacey, right? Isn't Kevin Spacey in that movie? Anyway, whatever. I'm a Christian. Thank you, Lin Yan Chin. I think I'm all caught up with you guys. And shout out to the D-Live crew. Okay, what a mess. Eddie's a first-time caller in South Carolina. How you doing, Eddie? Thank you for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Nothing much, man. I got a few things I wanted to speak about. First of all, Trump is really the Teflon Don because right now he's got the House and the Senate majority Republican. You know what I mean? So it's like whatever him and Elon can come up with, they got the support to push it through. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily, man. That's not true. Let me prove
you
it.
You got some Republicans that's gonna go against. But
yeah, because look, he didn't even get his based Matt Gaetz for Attorney General.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. I mean, you gonna have that. You're gonna have that push.
Right. Yeah.
But you know, other thing is speaking about presidents.
Yes.
Ronald Reagan, one of the greatest, if not the greatest president. Him and the dealings with Nicaragua, you know, back in the Oliver North days and stuff like that. And then his predecessor, I mean, the one after him, not predecessor, but the one came behind him, George Bush Sr.
Yeah, HW.
Yeah, him and Manuel Noriega, see, back in the 80s and stuff, that helped promote the cocaine, that promoted the cocaine boom in the United States. Okay?
Noriega is, what is that, Panama? Something like that? What's Noriega?
Yeah, the one that he pardoned. Well, yeah, they sentenced him, but he's free now.
Okay.
But
So what Bush did in Nicaragua with Oliver North, that was CIA. That was like CIA and drugs and stuff like that. Is that why
and
the blacks?
Then you had the big cocaine boom in the United States following that. Now listen to me.
Okay.
Then you had Bush Jr., right?
W.
When he gets in, you had the war against, you got to go get Saddam Hussein. You got the Kuwait and all that. That was all about the oil. We can understand, you know what I'm saying, gas prices and all this and that. Honestly, that was about the war. The war in Pakistan was about the heroin, the opium.
Oh, damn.
See, Pakistan owns, well, they supply like 75% of the world with opium, and that supplied the pharmaceutical companies and all this and that. And the backfire was that just like the cocaine and crack epidemic from back in the 80s, the heroin epidemic blew up in the United States. All this is behind the CIA and the presidential decisions and stuff. But we know the CIA controls the president. Now then you think about this right here. Then you go after El Chapo.
Uh-huh.
El Chapo said, well, he said, release the blue demons, release the blue devils on the United States. Now you see zombies hanging over, bent over, all this and that. You see what I'm saying? On the sidewalks, just no life at all.
Right.
Because they strung out on the blue.
The blue, is that a word for fentanyl?
Yeah, the pills.
Dang.
They make it look like pharmaceutical pills, but pharmaceutical, that's American word, and the pharmacies and the big corporation is the one who pushed the opioid medical situation in the beginning.
Interested.
You see what I'm saying?
Sort of. You're talking about a bunch of different drug problems that came about from the weak American populace. We got all strung out on drugs.
It came from the how is somebody weak if they go to a doctor because they worked in a coal mine all day and they have all these issues and stuff, back pains from being bent over and all this, and the doctor prescribes them Percocet. And he's prescribing because he gets paid for the prescription. You see what I'm saying?
So because he's weak because he listened to the doctor. He shouldn't have been you shouldn't trust the doctor like that.
Who else you gonna go to in West Virginia?
I don't know, Mountain Mama.
I mean, who you gonna go? You gonna just use mountain herbs the rest of your life?
I saw this episode of Dr. Quinn when I was a kid. And this guy who was in pain.
Oh my God! Don't go there.
Let me tell you how you can be weak. He was
the medicine woman.
Yeah, he was out. he was on the frontier. This blonde guy, was on the frontier, and he was in pain. And the doctor gave him morphine, and he felt so good at taking that morphine. And he's like, he got hooked on morphine because he was weak.
Well, so you mean the soldiers in the Vietnam War that got shot and wounded, when they gave them morphine, that mean they were weak too?
Yeah, if they got hooked on it, they are weak. Human beings are weak, you know that. And so they were exploiting.
No. The body and your system and your personality is two different things. Come on now.
Well, both. Your body is weak and your mind is weak, and your spirit is the devil. I don't know if this deals with morphine.
I think the devil is the one who gave it to you.
Yeah, because you're weak. And you accept it.
So don't go to the doctor.
Don't trust. Well, right? You can go to the doctor, but don't necessarily trust the doctor, because doctors are just dumb, evil, corrupt, weak people who will just do whatever you want because you are so weak that you just want a pill for your stuff rather than really deal with it. And so
you're going to make a whole lot of people in West Virginia mad, bro. There's
but
a whole bunch of broke down coal miners that, really feel like,
they feel like victims. They feel like victims, like it's not partly their fault too. I mean, it's not their fault that they want to be like, oh, I'm a victim of these evil doctors and these evil pharmaceutical companies.
I mean, but they're victims anyway because the coal mine industry is dead. That ain't their fault.
Not under Trump. Coal's coming back under Trump. Coal's coming back under Trump, and then we'll find and then he, we'll figure something out because there's always something to do.
Yeah. And the last thing, it was something that Jesse Lee said, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, we were just talking about, oh my gracious. I ain't gonna hold you up if I can't think of it right quick. But I love Jesse to death, you know what I mean?
Me too.
But sometimes Jesse is getting a little bit, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like now it's a war against Christianity.
Oh,
So,
he has a war against Christianity?
I mean, honestly, it's a lot of people probably turning over in their graves now because you trying to say that Christianity, if you're a Christian, you're an atheist. Come on, bro. You can't do that.
Yeah, because I remember
the United States was founded on Christianity, bro.
Yeah, and think about it.
So
You're a Christian,
States,
right? You're a Christian, right?
Saying,
are you a Christian?
No, yeah.
Okay, so
I am and always will be.
Let me defend the statement. Have you ever noticed how, like, in your wild days, although you were a Christian, quote unquote, you didn't live any different from how you would live were you an atheist?
In my wild days, because I was lost.
Yeah, and so many of us, even in our less wild days, are still lost, are still, like, living no different from atheists. You'll notice atheists, they're still, like, culturally Christian. They're nice people a lot of the time.
No.
They're suckers, just like the Christians. When I see an atheist, I saw an atheist on the Fallen State recently. I don't see him any different from how I see myself and how I live.
Well, that means you can call Jesus Christ a sucker.
Wow.
I mean, being honest, you know what I'm saying? Because he gave his all to people who never gave a damn about him.
He's
right?
He's my favorite loser. He fell for the entire human race.
That's what I'm saying. So, but anyway, Hake, I'm gonna hit you back sometime, bro. It was nice chopping it up with you.
Of course, me too.
Your man, have a good one.
You too, Eddie. Take care. Bye. That was a fun guy, not fungus. Fun guy. Guy. Speaking of Christians, let's get to David in Ocala, Florida. How you doing, David?
What's up, Hake? I knew you were going to say that.
Nice.
Speaking of Christians.
Because you're a Christian, right?
Sure I am. I'm not no atheist.
Well, says you.
Says me, yeah. Hey, listen, before I ask you about that shirt, I just want to comment. I want people to remember that Obama said you can keep your doctor, you can keep your insurance company. He didn't tell you that your rates are going to double or triple or your doctor was going to bail ship, now did he?
That's right. That was another thing that I thought of after my conversation with your friend and mine, Ronnie in Ohio. Obama lied through his teeth saying if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Ronnie just looks at numbers, kind of like Joe looks at numbers. Oh, such and such were supposedly uninsured. Now these are quote unquote insured, but he doesn't look at the good and bad of that situation. There's many horror stories and just worse off situations with Obamacare. And they don't look at that aspect of it. Of course, when you give away so-called health care, you're going to have some stories of people, they get something that they were hoping to get and everything's happy. They're very glad that they got their Obamacare. Of course, you're going to get that, but they don't tell you the bad side of what's going on with this socialist takeover. It's like a socialist backdoor communism. Just every step towards losing. Well, you're losing freedoms. You literally lost freedoms with Obamacare.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Well, you got greased, man. Your pocketbook got greased. Okay. It's like Trump saying when the gas doubles, you're paying a tax, Jack.
That's right.
Anyway,
inflation is an legislated tax.
Right.
Government spending.
Yeah, he also lied about marriages between a man and a woman, and then he signed the Same-Sex Marriage Act.
Yep, he lied.
You got Biden. I'm not going to pardon my son 10 times, and then he pardons him, and not only that, he goes all the way back to 2014 and clears his record.
Yeah, that's wild,
and Trump's
man.
a liar.
Give me a break. Yeah, Trump.
I know,
They
Trump's
hate
a
Trump because
deceiver.
they're the liars and he's the truth teller. And so they
Right,
just
it's called
come up with stuff
projection.
and call it a lie. It's kind of like when Joe from Phoenix called me a liar because I said I used the term black crime. What a mess. Right
Hey,
on.
well, what do you mean by that shirt? Knowledge is poison.
I'm glad
what's
you
that all
asked.
about?
So you know
my call.
how women, for example, they'll get a little bit of knowledge about their Christianity or about whites or the Jews or whatever, and they'll just pop off like they know something.
And start Black Lives Matters or something.
Yeah, they'll start Black Lives Matter, or they'll start just like running at the mouth like they know something. They're on an ego trip. They're prideful. In the Bible,
so it doesn't have any.
In the Bible, it says knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. So that's my point. Is when you're puffed up,
got you.
that's poison. That's pride. That's what made Satan fall.
It has nothing to do with wisdom, is what you're saying.
Right. I'm not talking about the knowledge, the true knowledge of God. I'm talking about knowledge about God or knowledge about this or that.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be, I'm not necessarily trying to justify how ignorant I am.
No.
Because I am ignorant.
Here, I'll give you a good example of what I think you're talking about, okay?
Yes.
You're talking about a guy like Ben Shapiro, who is freaking the dude is smart as a whip, yet he doesn't know that Jesus is the Messiah, and that he doesn't know who Jesus is.
Yeah, or he doesn't realize that Trump is the great white hope.
Well, he did, didn't he? Because he didn't like him before, now he promotes him, right?
Right, but he had that blind spot. Because a lot of Jews are intellectuals. They don't have that simple wisdom that the normal white men Christians have.
Well, that's because, y'all brought this up. Jesse's brought this up before, okay? And this is why you got to know who's getting, how it's being spoke. When Jesus told them Jews, you search the scriptures and then you think you find salvation.
Yeah.
He was telling them that they believe that they're going to get that their salvation is through their knowledge and not through his redeeming blood and that what he was going to do on the cross, because they didn't believe he was the Messiah. Now check this out. Do you know that his return, it was prophesied 490 years to the day before Jesus rode that donkey through Jerusalem and they laid them palm tree branches out.
Is that so?
For him. Yes, and that's why he was, in a way, I think he was like sort of telling them that, so you think you know the scriptures, but you don't know the times of the seasons, because if they did, they would have recognized he was the Messiah, and they would have, but y'all are right. They were looking for somebody to come take care of the Romans, set them free. Okay?
Yeah.
They didn't see the whole picture. Okay, what was going down. But yeah, it was 490 years to the day that was prophesied.
And what's the point of that?
That if they really would have known the scriptures, they would have known who Jesus was, and they denied him.
Right.
There's the probability of somebody prophesying that he was going to ride a donkey into Jerusalem 490 years to the day is almost like, impossible. I mean, think about it. So, but anyway, let me ask you, y'all believe,
go ahead.
Y'all
go ahead.
believe in hell? Do y'all believe in hell?
Right.
No, do y'all believe in hell?
Yeah. I mean, we're not supposed to believe in hell, because you believe in hell, then you follow hell, and that's what you're following.
No,
but we know that hell is real.
Hell
is real. Indeed.
Do you believe that when you die, you go to heaven or go to hell?
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
do you believe in hell on earth? Hell in people?
I believe that like war, is not good. That's like, people say war is hell.
Oh, okay. But
just
what
the
about
craziness
what about
going on.
regular interpersonal hell, like stuff that happens on this show, for example, where a caller and Hake or two callers are hating each other? Isn't that hell on Earth coming out of them?
I think that's just a disagreement of opinions myself.
No, not.
I mean,
I don't just mean a mere disagreement, because you don't have to hate each other over a disagreement. You can disagree without hating each other, but people are judging one another, caught up on their ego, puffed up, and
I'd say you probably categorize me as that one of them people. I'm sure because of my beliefs,
Not because of your beliefs, but because you're on a kick. You're on like this. Jesse's a cult kick manipulator.
Well, listen, when you tell people that Jesus already returned and that all thoughts are lies, and you got to go forgive your mama and return to the Father, and that none of that's in the Bible. Okay, none of that.
Well,
right?
You don't know. Maybe it's in there, but you just don't see it. Kind of like how Jesus told the Pharisees.
Yeah, if you want to twist stuff up, I mean, you can.
But what's wrong? What's wrong with
that.
saying all thoughts are lies, for example?
Because they're not. Not all thoughts are lies. A lot of thoughts are lies, but when I think, hey, I love my wife, that's not a thought, or hey, I love my children, or hey, I want to protect my kids, or hey, how about this? I shouldn't send my kids to public school because they're going to get indoctrinated. That's not a lie.
Right, but that's a practical thought.
Yeah, see, you got to weigh out. You got to weigh out.
But it's but it's the truth. I mean, that's a real. If you let's say you start preaching the good news and trying to tell everybody else that you got to take your kids out of school, and you look down on them because of this knowledge about kids got to not be in these evil schools, then that's a lie that you're holding on to. You're living by it.
That's not right.
You're puffed up.
I mean,
because you shouldn't lord it over. You should let the parents destroy their own children if that's what they want to do.
Sure, and let people go to hell who don't want to believe Jesus is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords.
But for example,
their sins and shed their blood. It shed his blood.
The thought that I love my wife, or I love my girlfriend, or I love my brother,
your car,
or let's say I love the snake pit.
Your Corolla 5-speed.
Yeah, stick shift. Don't forget it's shift. Stick shift. Oh yeah, let's say I love my car, but I let it get skin cancer. The paint's falling off. How much do I really love my car if I'm letting it get skin cancer because I didn't wax it or something early enough on? That's not love. Or I think I love my girlfriend if I had one, and yet I get mad at her for not doing what I want her to do. That's because that's selfishness. It's not actual real love. Or I'm mad at the snake pit.
Well, that goes back to people that say if this is a loving God, how could he let these children die of cancer at 5 years old or whatever?
Yeah. That's another example of a thought that's a lie, because you think that you know better than God how to let the world go to hell.
It's the product of the sin. When the sin entered in, death entered in, and it's not, and they say, well, how could God sit back and watch this?
Maybe God doesn't care about it like you care about it, Maybe you're caring about it is hell and a lie to the atheists who think that they care about death.
Right. Well, he cares about it. I mean, he does. He doesn't like it. It's just part of the whole deal. It was part of the plan, that there's just no, way around it. So what'll separate a real true believer from a false one is sickness, persecution, and still hanging in with God. You follow what I'm saying? Still praising God and seeking God
like
the
Job.
hard times of life.
Yeah, like Job. Like Job in the Bible.
Oh yeah, Job. Right. And God says, if the God's the same to yesterday, today, and forever, then that Job situation can still happen. God can allow the enemy to come take your stuff just to see how you're going to react to it.
And how about check this? Is Jesus in you? Is Jesus in you with you?
the Holy Spirit is in me, which is Jesus too, I believe. Okay, but yeah, the Holy Spirit lives in you.
Yeah, the same Spirit that was in Jesus is in you, or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then he is returned. At least in a manner of speaking, right? Can you say that? Can you acknowledge that?
Well, yes, and that's what I told you before.
So then don't diminish that.
No, I don't diminish that part.
Then why are you mad at... Anyway, yeah.
As physical form, though, he did not put his feet down on the Mount of Olives yet, and they split, okay? So, it's prophesied in the Bible. When he comes back, his feet are going to touch the Mount of Olives. It's going to split, and... so that's his physical return. He is going to return. Now, whether you believe in the rapture or not, that's not a salvation issue, I don't believe. I mean, I'm sure.
Is it a salvation issue to say he's already returned?
I say it's trouble, okay? I don't.
But it's not a salvation issue necessarily.
Jesse, not me, huh?
It's not a salvation issue necessarily.
It could be, but that's between God and the person that's saying that stuff.
Okay, then how come you're getting all caught up on it if it's just between him and God? If it's between Jesse and God and whoever else agrees with Jesse, sees that he's right or doesn't agree with him or whatever, then why are you playing mama with other people's beliefs?
I'm just trying to make a point.
What point is that?
My belief. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to win nobody over. It don't matter to me if they don't it don't matter to me if people don't believe Jesus is God. That's between them and him.
You talk like that now, but you're on a kick. I don't know if you are still, but as the other days you were on a trip. You were tripping.
Pirate, huh?
You were tripping.
Because well, here's the thing.
Can you see that you were tripping? Because everybody can see that you were tripping.
Okay, I got a little emotional or whatever, passionate, let's say. But here's the thing, I never really listened to him. I always listened to you.
Oh, okay, right on. Well, but can you acknowledge that it was tripping?
However you want to call tripping, yeah, whatever, I was tripping. The bottom line is I never really.
Do you use that vernacular? Is this black vernacular to say tripping?
Do
you know what I mean by tripping?
Yeah, I was tripping. Yeah, like tripping out on something.
Yeah, kind of like you were not yourself.
Animated.
You were not in your normal senses. When somebody's mad or excited, they're not back to their senses. Come back to your senses, type of thing.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna,
You were not in a calm state. You were in a puffed up state.
Well, okay. How about this? This is the kind of stuff that sort of gets to me.
Okay.
Is the Book of Life thing. The guy that called today and spoke about the Book of Life. Jesse acts like that's just a joke, and it's not. If your name's not written in the Lamb's Book of Life, you're getting thrown into the lake of fire.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so if somebody called me and said, "Hey, the Book of Life and stuff," I wouldn't laugh and joke about the Book of Life. I'd tell them, "Hey, listen, the Word of God says if your name's not written in the Lamb's Book of Life, you're going to hell."
Right. I didn't catch that call. I was shame on me. I was distracted. I'm supposed to take notes. Is that when he said that's dumb?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Dude,
you have to call. You have to call Jesse on that because I wasn't paying attention and I can't defend it or.
Nah, he's listen.
Oh, now you're justifying not calling Jesse. You're just gonna call little Hake.
You want me to?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you want to, if you have a disagreement about it, because you can't just call. I mean, you can, but it's a waste of time to call in and complain to me when I didn't even hear that particular aspect of the conversation.
I just brought that up as an example. I'm not complaining to you about him.
Well, I mean, the point is, you shouldn't give up on talking to Jesse just because you get frustrated because he steamrolls over your nonsense mess.
Yeah, because he can't handle the truth, dude. Okay, the truth.
Do you realize that you sound like Joe from Phoenix?
No, I'm no.
Yeah, and that's what the Pharisees said to Jesus. The Pharisees said to Jesus, "You can't handle the truth."
No, they didn't say that to him. They said the truth. Why do you think Jesus said, "I'm the way, I'm the truth, I'm the life"? Jesus is absolute truth. There's no, if anybody ever says what's absolute truth, if they don't say Jesus is absolute truth, they don't know him.
Nice.
Okay? You like that?
Man, I got to run, David and Ocala.
Hey, Dave, thanks, man. Thanks for listening.
All right.
My call. Y'all have a great day, and I'll back off the craziness.
I'm not saying it so that you back off necessarily.
No,
I'm saying it because you were tripping.
Made.
I'm saying it because you're my Christian brother, and Christian brothers are supposed to check one another a little bit.
Listen, it's y'all's show. Here's the deal. I got my point made. The people know where I'm coming from, so
right.
There's no reason to keep beating a dead horse.
Thank you.
You know, how's that? All right, man. Have a great day, bro.
All right. You too. Bye.
Oh, all right. Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm chuckling because I'm seeing Lisa over on the Facebook crew asked if one of my callers, Eddie, I guess, was Rika's cousin, Republican cousin, Frederick's Republican. I don't know if he was a Republican, honestly. I assume that you were talking about Eddie. Nice. What's up, Lisa? Nice to see you over on the Facebook crew. What's up, David, over on the X live crew? Radulaser, Clovera. Oh, yeah, there was some, I'm live on Kick. There was a funny couple of comments that I meant to get to over on Rumble. Let's see if I can show you guys these comments on the Rumble crew. By the way, the mining industry and addiction. AmericanAddictionCenters.org. It's not surprising that so many workers resort to self-medication and abuse of prescription painkillers such as opioids in order to get through their workday. Hake hurt his back in the coal mines. Nah. Many addicted miners develop increased tolerance and eventually move on to stronger opioids such as heroin, resulting in even more deadly consequences. Isn't that a picture of life? Death, really. This death that we call life when you're seeking after, I don't know, like thrills, pleasures, mess. Like you, the slut makers. Sorry, kids, ladies. One woman is not enough. You think, oh, I'll just be happy. Or when you're a kid, you don't really want to do anything to her. You just want to go talk to her. But no, you want more than just to talk to her. You know when you have a crush on a girl? And I just want to talk to her. You think. But no, you actually want more than that. Lying or just blind, really. The mining occupation is particularly conducive to substance abuse for a few reasons. Mining is an extremely stressful job, or the degeneracy, people's perversions. People get perverted, and they go even further perverted because the thrill of the lower perversion is not enough. That's why those rich and famous and powerful people, I don't really judge them. I don't really look down on them for being so degenerate because they have all that access to all that get away with stuff. So they're going to get away with more and more and more and more and more. And there's no stopping the hell that you get into. Many workers turn to alcohol, extremely stressful job, they say. Oh, mama. Mining is an extremely stressful job. Many workers turn to alcohol or drugs to cope with this stress. I know many people in many different fields, prison guards, people who have to deal with the dairy farmers and all that stuff. And some people are just high-stress people, and they get stressed out or mad. And then they turn to drinking or whatever. West Virginia, coal mining industry accounts for 2% of the state's employment, and heroin and opioid overdoses are twice the national average in West Virginia. Mountain Mama. Terrible stuff going on in the world. So shout out to the West Virginians. I did have some West Virginia listeners, perhaps, but they all OD'd. You guys know anybody who OD'd? I've known some people who OD'd. White. Beautiful white women and stuff. Terrible. Okay, so I wanted to get to some of these things from Age of Inversion. You ain't getting raptured, quote unquote, David. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find this on here, but anyway, I saw these from you guys over on the Rumble crew. It does not mean all knowledge, says Jules Verne. Knowledge from a humble man does not puff up. Hake, finish the verse. Right. And then somebody else said, my people perish for Age of Inversion. Says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. That's in the Bible. It's a fact. They're both a fact. Take that, Hake, he says. It is a fact. Right. That's what Robert and Crazy Robert, shout out, in Kansas keeps on quoting that verse to me. Anytime I show this verse, what's Hake doing? Let me fast forward. There he is. Anytime I show this verse, this knowledge is poison. It's not a verse. These nutty flat earth destroys the slave matrix people say, quote, God saying, my people perish for lack of knowledge. That's what the black Hebrew Israelites say too, man. Ridiculous. You think you know so much. That's an example of knowledge puffing up. And you know so much that's not true. Shout out to the late, probably great, what's his name? I'm looking for Joel Friday TV. Is he here? Is he coming up? I may have to refresh the page. Joel, are you scheduled? Okay. Look at that. We got more super chats from Manuel over here in California, I think. Manuel bought 10 coffees. Forgot to mention, they may have a recording of O.J. Simpson admitting to murdering the two people, but was hidden from the prosecution, says Manuel. I saw some headline about that. Yeah, police or something release. Oh, O.J., they may. I don't know if, I think it's probably pretty clear because everybody I know who's like somewhat sensible says that O.J. was guilty. That's not one of those ones where the sensible people think he was innocent. There's a few people who say, oh, I think O.J. was, I even think O.J. was innocent. And he, fairly sensible people, but sometimes they're a little off. Shout out. But if I'm going to go based on hearsay, he did. I still like him. I disavow what he allegedly did, because I'm going to call it allegedly. He's dead now. I don't mean to slander him. But he had an issue, OJ. You know, his dad was like a cross-dressing homosexual who went to like the Castro district, and he eventually died of AIDS, they said. I learned that from The Antidote. Look into it. So, you know, you kind of understand. That can mess with your mind, maybe. He didn't have like OJ was proven innocent, says D. Thomas. He was not proven innocent. Nice. Okay, cool. Catch Joel Friday TV. He is coming up soon. A newlywed nightmare. What a mess. Okay. Austin in PA, Pennsylvania, is on the line over here. Austin, thanks for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Hey, yeah, what's up, Hake? How you doing?
Doing well. How about you?
I'm all right. I'm usually Austin from Virginia when I call in here.
Oh, okay. So Austin from Virginia, but now Austin currently in PA.
Correct.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I got a question for you. I've been sort of mulling this over. I read a Bible verse, and it seems like in my life I'm being directed to delight in the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. If you feel like you're being directed to delight in the Lord, okay?
Yeah, it was. I forget exactly what verse it was, but there was like a scripture that I read, and it said basically like, delight in the Lord, and all of the desires of your heart will be brought unto you. And I was like, I was in prayer, sort of like mulling a lot of that stuff over, and that's what I was led to. And I'm interested because you're a I see you as a wise man, and I'm interested in what you think it means to delight in the Lord.
I think that it means that you put him first. That you put seeking first the kingdom of his kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
and put that before anything. I think that's what
I like
delighting in him is.
I like that. I don't know if you can relate to this or not, but I've been seeing that I don't really feel any type of way about what I do. And so the thought that like delighting in the Lord is something that I'm supposed to do, there's like I saw that I had a thought that there should be like a feeling attached to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. And
that's a trap.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Because it's like I realized when I experienced peace in the past, I thought it was something to fix.
Right.
Yeah. It's like the absence of feeling. I was like, something's wrong. But really, this is just peace.
It might be. Yeah. I remember when I was in high school and college and stuff like that, I thought that I was supposed to pursue working myself up into having the right feelings towards God and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, but it's just a thrill.
Yeah, it is, and it's just lost, groping around in the darkness.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I've been telling people at church I'm not a sinner, and they get really agitated.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's like I listen to them talk, and I don't know. I'm like, I'm laying my weapons down and all that,
right?
And it's going really well. But when people tell me, they're like, it's crazy because, I feel like I'm not trying to argue with anybody or like convince them of anything. I just say what I see.
Okay.
And everybody seems to show me their heart pretty fast.
Yeah. That's true. People reveal themselves. Right.
And well, the craziest thing for me is like so many of these people that I'm interacting with, like they have murder in their hearts, dude.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's that knowledge puffs up stuff because they think they know something different from what you're saying, and they're calling it. And what you're saying is in the Bible, really.
Yeah.
But they don't see it.
It's like we love the stories. You know what I'm saying? That's why people fall into it. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean by the stories? We love the stories.
It's like you tell yourself the story that like you're a sinner and God is like merciful and gracious, which like of course the character of the Lord is mercy and grace. But you tell yourself you're a sinner because it's like a story where you're like the underdog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like I can keep like like, yeah, of course I'm gonna like mess up because I'm a wicked sinner,
Yeah, that's what I mean, and that's probably what Jesse means by living like an atheist. You're no different from an atheist. These people who they just resign themselves to continuing in misery and a mediocre life and messing up at times and making excuses and being no different, not being a new creation because they don't see it anywhere and they don't think that it's possible.
Well, I see that like in everything that I see as like not right about that perspective, I see that I'm like just as bad.
Yeah, me too.
And I there's a lot of scriptures about like evil men, and like what they're like, how they like don't sleep a lot, things like that.
Yeah.
And it's like whenever I'm reading it, I feel like it's talking to me.
Right. Nice.
And I understand that it's like, I'm not identifying with anything, I don't think. But then maybe that's a thought too.
Yeah. Always watch. Keep watch.
Yeah. I watch a lot of movies. You watch a lot of movies?
No, not really.
All right.
I've been watching some TV shows lately. The Sopranos,
like
actually. The Sopranos.
Ooh. Yeah, there's something about that show that kind of makes me sick to my stomach if I watch it for too long.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't watch much of it. I watch maybe like one episode, maybe two in like a whole week. On the weekends.
Everybody on that show is like completely governed by their emotions.
Yeah. That is interesting.
It's pretty crazy because I see that in the world too. Like, I also see I can't control anything and I have no power. So I'm blessed that my emotions haven't totally swept me up lately. But there is like seeing it in other people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, I don't know. I see it, but it is what it is. You good?
Yeah, I am. I was just distracted because I was wondering if I had your volume down this whole time a little low. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, I'm in the car. The audio might be a little tricky.
A little up and down.
Yeah. Well, that's
Thank you
cool,
for the
man. What's up?
I said thanks for the call. Pretty interesting stuff.
You. Yeah.
Definitely
I
don't sit around thinking you have it.
Have what?
Whatever it is, salvation or whatever.
Yeah, people tell me I don't. And can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, people tell me I don't, which I feel like I don't know. It doesn't really make me feel anything about it. It's just sort of another thing I get to endure.
Yeah, what's to endure, really? That's them making a claim that is either true or not true, honestly.
Right. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's just the truth at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's keen. All right, well, listen, Hake, I appreciate your time. Thanks again for the call, man.
Yeah, thank you. Austin in PA, usually in VA. Virginia.
Yeah, I'll be in Virginia next time. See
Cool,
you.
man. Wish you well. Take care. Bye. The chat's cracking me up. Rest in peace to that guy, Gandolfini, James Gandolfini. Shall we talk about a little bit of news? I heard Josh from Georgia claim that he only gets his news from Hake. So in other words, Josh from Georgia doesn't know anything. I had wanted to talk about the Voyager. Let's go to CNN Stinks. I said CNN Stinks because they want you to log in, but I don't know if they still want to. That might have been a glitch. Let's see. Voyager 1. NASA engineers successfully restored contact with the deep space probe Voyager 1. This is from Commie Nonsense Network. Space is real, guys. And the spacecraft is operating normally after its dwindling power supply caused a weeks-long blackout. Just listen to this. The issue began in October when the aging probe, aging like Hake, or slower, maybe, automatically switched from its primary X-band radio transmitter and began relying on a much weaker S-band radio transmitter. Some of you guys may know this stuff, to communicate with their mission, with its mission team, not there. It's an it. Voyager 1 is an it. The farthest spacecraft from Earth. Is it farthest or furthest? It is the furthest from Earth. It is the farthest from Earth. Farthest? Okay. Because further is inexact, and farther is, you got to go, oh no, I'm not sure which one is which. There's further and farther, and they're further means it needs to go further. Farther means it's farther. Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Bill the engineer, the co-host of yesterday's show with Anchor Baby, is telling me what he thinks the distinction is. We'll have to look it up later. Maybe. The farthest spacecraft from Earth, as CNN words it, Voyager 1 is currently exploring uncharted territory about 15.4 billion, with a B, billion miles away. But that's not as many dollars as Elon Musk owns. After some clever problem solving, NASA, which does not mean lies, does not mean to deceive, you guys do need to check those liberal fact checkers, was able to switch Voyager 1 back to its, I keep on saying there because companies, I've been started calling companies they again, back to its X-band transmitter and received its daily stream of data. Again, starting in mid-November. Launched weeks apart in 1977. That's before Hake was born. But after Bill, the engineer, was born. He probably remembers the launch, maybe. No. Voyager 1 and its twin probe Voyager 2 continued to defy the odds. So cool. Back when they made stuff out of quality. And explore space more than 47 years. That's so wild to me. 47 years after they lifted off. And it's not like it can plug in and recharge or anything. It's so cool. And it doesn't have wind. and I don't think. Yeah. So it just keeps on. And I imagine it just keeps on going kind of straight. But maybe it kind of curves a little bit because of the gravitational push of other things? Yeah. So that's wild to me. And it hasn't crashed into anything. I mean, it's mostly empty space. So you're unlikely to crash into something. That's awesome. Let's see if this shows me anything. Voyager 1 is back online. This is what it looks like? That thing? That's what Voyager 1 looks like? It looks like a radar dish? With a thing sticking out? That's so cool. Bill is saying yes. Do you want to come on and explain this stuff a little bit, or are you fine? I'm not Anchor Baby, so I'm not as smooth with this stuff. What do you want to know? I don't know what I want to know. Bill the engineer. Super source. I don't know how to do this. He's sitting over there. Oh, here. Okay. There we go. And let me unmute you. Which one is the one? Let me just start unmuting everything. No. Oh, shoot. Is that one it? Test. Okay, there you go.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, let's see. Aren't you going to put up Voyager 1?
Right, I am. Here, let me...
You know, the thing that would be cool is if we knew exactly, and I haven't calculated it, but how many AU that is. You know, it's probably like 100 AU, something like that.
AU, astronomical units.
You're right.
100 AU. That's the distance from the center of the Earth to the center of the sun, right? Roughly.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. I learned that because I looked it up last time I looked up space.
Oh, really? Uh-huh. Or you could look at it as how long it takes for it to get a message back and forth. I mean, it's like over a day or it's something like a day and a half or something like that.
Uh-huh.
It's like maybe 17 hours or something like
Wow.
that. It takes light that long to get out there to where it's at.
And so radio travels at the speed of light? Because
Yeah,
it's a radio.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
light. It's basically, so it takes a while for them to communicate with it. And then it takes that time again for its communication to come back, or its reaction to be heard.
Oh, so they communicate with it because that's how they were able to make it turn on its...
Right, but they sent it a
original-
message, and then they had to wait. It's like, they send it a message, they have to wait whatever, 17 or however many hours it takes for the message to get out there. And then if it communicates back, you find out, another 17 plus 17 or whatever it is. I'm not exactly sure. So it'll be like a day and a half before you find out.
Man.
Or 2 days before you find out.
That's so crazy to me that they're using 70s technology in order to and it's still working.
Yeah, there's nuclear decay, nuclear isotope decay, and it's using the heat from that to generate power.
Okay.
But its power is getting lower and lower and lower as time goes on. So it has most of the instruments all turned off, because if it turned them all on, it wouldn't be able to power everything.
15 billion miles away, this thing is. I don't know how they even count that stuff, but I guess you do it with math. There it is.
We have liftoff of the Titan Centaur carrying the first of 2 Voyager spacecraft to extend man's senses farther into the solar system than ever before.
From a scientific standpoint, what's critical about Voyager today is the record of data that it's taking from Earth, right? Out through the outer helios sheath, across the heliopause, and as far into interstellar space as we can make that data last. Because we can see the changes in the data, changes in the environment as we travel further and further away. They were identical at launch. Different things have failed on the spacecraft differently. So if you think of twins, one has lost its hearing and needs some hearing aids, and another one has lost a bit of some sense of touch. But for aging spacecraft, 46 years now, they're actually very healthy.
Voyager has instruments remaining on and operating that can measure things like the magnetic field, the electrons, protons, and the particles that are around the spacecraft. A lot going on in a place where you can't really see the particles, but still a lot that we can measure and learn about the environment outside this bubble that's generated by the solar wind.
We've turned off many instruments, most obviously the instruments that were designed to really look at the planets. Those we turned off after the Neptune encounter in order to repurpose the memory for the interstellar mission.
When we turned the instrument heaters off and they got much colder, they had to recalibrate. But detectors often like being colder, that their signal to noise improves. And so in a certain sense, we got a benefit out of turning off the heaters, that the instruments were actually, in some cases, slightly more sensitive.
We are spending lots of time looking at different engineering options to let us not have to turn off a science instrument to gain back power and warmth for the space.
At least they're old women.
Spacecraft.
And so that means being very creative in what we turn off, and slowly, one by one, we'll turn off the science
As opposed to young women.
But
That'd be
even
annoying.
that last instrument that stays on and continues to take data will add to our knowledge about a place that we've never been before.
Nice. That's pretty cool, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how to switch this view.
Okay, you need to get out of what's called a super source.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's those weird buttons over there. Like, turn them off. I mean, just go to a regular shot.
Okay. There's me. There's Bill. Nice. That's funny. What a mess. Nice. I have it. Cam 2, Cam 1. Cam 2, Cam 1.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning the stream deck, guys. So space is cool. And Bill agrees.
Yeah, space is cool.
And it's real.
Right, real.
Because people are like, space is fake. The Earth is flat. We've never been to the moon.
Oh, no. We're not going to get into that.
And so FYI. This stuff is awesome to me.
Space is big.
Yeah. It totally like captures the imagination.
Space goes for far, 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 far. All those planets and stuff are really far away.
Yeah.
They're like really tiny, like grains of sand, and you're like spreading them out over a football field.
Yeah. That's trippy.
For everything. That's like the sun and everything, really. I mean, it's like really empty. A lot of nothing.
Yeah. Shout out to God. That's what, doesn't that like make you believe more in God, kind of? Like on a physical, practical level? It seems like, I don't know how you can be an atheist seeing that stuff. To me. But shout out to the atheists. People think that, oh, if it were just a spinning ball floating through space thousands of miles, that means that it's the devil. But that doesn't mean that. I mean, that means we're atheists. Atheism is right, and evolution is...
James, shouldn't the camera be on you?
Yeah, me. Me, him. Oh, yeah, me and Bill. What a mess. Oh, I could put you there and me here.
Yeah, you could do that.
Because I'm too much of a boomer still to learn how to fix the other split screen the way that Nick had it.
Well, that would just be the super source.
It would
you
be
had the super source.
The super source, but
you got the wrong super source.
Yeah, I need to change the other thing, and I forget where to do that. And I don't really have time.
Oh, and then you got this going on.
Turn that off. Back off.
It could be like
we see his hand.
You can be everybody. The audience could be in on the lesson.
Right.
Right. James learning how to use the setup here.
I feel like I could select a different. I feel like I could.
You just got the wrong one. I mean, if you there's the one with James.
Right. Oh. And where do I find the one with James? Cam 2 with... Oh, no. There he is.
Well, not quite. The one with James.
Cam 2 with Hake.
The one with Hake.
Nice.
There we go.
Dang. That's not exactly it, but... Well, I mean, it works. It works.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It
looks great.
It. It's not the one you were looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. That man, Bill, see? Bill is the engineer, and he knows how to make it work.
Showing a little bit computer.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Just heads up.
Nice. Thank you. Joel looking out. So, nice. Right on.
All right.
Thanks, Bill. All right, guys. I got to start wrapping up. We're at just about 5 minutes till the top of the hour here. So let me see if I can go to... Let me show... I know how to do this. I can do... Cam 4. Thanks, Bill. Now you can walk out without being disrupted if you want. All right. What's up, guys? See, I'm learning. Oh, and so I got to mute him now. Okay, so let's start wrapping things up. William number 7 wanted to talk about biblical salvation. Rick in Hampton, VA wanted to talk about the Trump effect. And the rest of the callers, I cannot get to you. Let me double check if there were any remaining super chats over here on the buymeacoffee.com/the Hake report. We are going to have to mosey on over to Joel Friday TV. I wanted to play a nice Christmas song, okay? And actually, let's do Fangs. I wonder as I wander. You guys always love this one. Not. Yes. Okay, I've got that. Adios, America. Oh, there's Kelly. Kelly, I'm going to have to read your super chat later. The Z one, Little Rocket Man. It's Christmas time. Christians are atheists? Are you an atheist? Denouncing God because Jesse tells you to? Definitely a way not to get to heaven. Lord. Talk about not seeing the point. What are kids wanting to do, wanting more than to talk? Kids, James! This is a nice doom music for this person. I think I heard you say something about loving your brother, but you delight anytime your fan base bashes me. No. And the day you showed my face, you didn't tell them not to look me up or harass me. I always say not to harass. That's always implicit. I truly believe you wish harm and ill will upon me. That's your imagination, buddy. Why do you hate me so much? I've never known you to hate anyone the way you treat me.
I wonder as I wander out under the sky.
Fangs.
How Jesus.
What did you do? What happened? Was that me? No, nothing.
To save lonely people like you and like I wonder.
You're in your imagination.
Out under the sky.
It's Christian. Matthew 13:23 to 24.
When Jesus was born, it was in a cow stall with shepherds and wise men and angels and all. The blessings of Christmas from heaven did fall, and the weary world woke to the Savior's
Fangs. I wonder as I wander. Look at the beautiful clouds. The beautiful dark forest in beautiful Mount Baldy. Oh man, I'm gonna be 20 seconds late. It's from Lujo Records. All I Want for Christmas. EP, compilation. Lujo. Lujo. Don't you like the piano?